to make it over there?
I am
Trying to
sorry.
do a show in here. Come on.
I apologize.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coach Show here on KOXC. I'm Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director, and sneezing aficionado, Sammy Burnett. How are you today, Coach?
Man, I am really good. How are you?
Good, good. Well, let's go back to Thursday. It seems like it's about a week or two away, or back, or previous. Seems like it's been a long time since Thursday, but a lot of good things happened Thursday night. Just your thoughts on the 60-13 win over Lakeview.
Yeah, you know, after watching film on who did we play? It's been so long. San Angelo, Lakeview, against Andrews. You know, it was a 33-0 ball game, and Lakeview had a couple opportunities to score inside the red zone and turn the ball over on interceptions that were really sort of fluke plays. But after watching that game and then us going out there and playing, I thought we brought our A game. I thought we won all three phases of the game, and I thought we did it from the start of the game, and we're dominant from the get-go. I think quickly it was 21-0, and our kids played well. My goal was for them to play to their level, use the ability they've been blessed with, and maximize it to the fullest. I thought they did that, and my second goal was to make sure that we treated it like a business trip, regardless of the score, us up being so much to focus and be prepared to play. And when it came time for the others to get in there and play and get some reps, I wanted them to be focused and ready, and I thought our kids did a great job of handling themselves on the sideline, and, of course, they handled themselves well on the field. So all in all, I was pleased. You know, our motto is, it's not how we play, it's not who we play, it's how we play. And that was our message this morning when we were there at 6:30 in the weight room. We got these two games coming up, and Estacada's first, followed by Andrews. And the bottom line is this: it's how you prepare and how you play. It has nothing to do with your opponent. We feel if we can do that, we can be successful. And it was a great opportunity. You know, in the last two games, we scored 101 points and given up, I think, 16, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. 26.
Yes.
That's a good start to district where we continue to believe if we can put 40 points on the board, that's our goal, that we can be successful against anybody. So really focusing on us and making sure we're getting better at what we do and worrying about us and really not worrying about that opponent.
We kind of talked about how explosive the offense could be, and 2 minutes after halftime, you got 60 points on the board against Lakeview, but it was mostly running the ball Thursday night. So just kind of talk about the ground game, and y'all had over 350 yards rushing, and just how impressive that was.
Yeah, our offensive line has gelled. Every week they're grading out pretty high consistently all the way across the board. There's not a big drop-off. We don't have two offensive linemen doing really well and the other three not grading out well. We have 5 guys that are grading out really well. That means they're not busting assignments and they're picking up their blocks, which allows Colin to run the ball extremely well. We had 3 running backs that got to run the ball the other night, and Jalen Brown and Logan McKibben, and I thought they all 3 did a good job. It was nice to see Jalen get some runs because of the fact that he had been out and hadn't ran the football in a while. But we did that. Of course, when he was running at times, there was our backup lineman in, which was a good thing, and we still were able to move the ball and have some success on the ground, and maybe not have as many passing yards as we could have, but didn't need to throw the football. I mean, when you're getting six yards a chunk, last time I did the math, 6 + 6 is 12, so we got a first down on every third possession, or every third snap, so excited about that. Anytime you can run the ball and control the clock and keep someone's defense off the field, that's important to us. And when we had to throw the ball, I thought we did a good job of that. I thought Ike did a great job of managing the game. He pulled it down a couple of times on some pass plays that didn't develop properly or were covered, and made yards with his legs and made good decisions, so that was good to see. I thought our secondary grew. I thought they made great jumps from the Big Spring game, which I was very vocal about being disappointed in the way that we played in the back end. I thought they grew last week. We put a big focus on that. They took ownership in it, and same thing goes this week. We continue to get better at the places that we see that we're weak, and the places that we're strong, we're trying to get stronger. So kids' attitudes are great. Look forward to it, a good game Friday night.
Yeah. Defensively, other than a play or two there in the first half, Lakeview had nothing going. I think when it was 35-0, the yardage was like 217-5 at that point. So another really strong outing from the defense.
Well, when you can keep the ball on offense and then you score and kick off to them and pin them, inside the 30, and then defense goes out there and gets 3 then outs, it gives you great opportunities. I think at one point we had 9 possessions that we scored on. Every time that our first unit was in the game, we scored points some way. I think the lapse in the game, as I said at the postgame show, was we created a turnover on a punt and got the ball around the 30 or inside the 30 and wound up having to kick a field goal. So we lapsed mentally there, kicked the ball off to them, and I had another mental lapse on defense and let them have a big play that resulted in their first touchdown. And, of course, their last touchdown they got on the last play of the game when we had our 2s in. And I thought they did an extremely good job of playing. Had an opportunity for San Angelo to score, and they created a turnover by pressuring the quarterback and making him fumble. So they kept him out of the end zone there and almost did it again at the end of the game. But their number 1 receiver caught a little fade on us, and we're successful and got in the end zone. So all in all, I thought everybody played well, and I think we dominated from whistle to whistle.
Yeah, as you mentioned, everybody got in the game. Just the importance of that and getting them some confidence.
Sure, it's really important. Those kids practice hard and they get ready for their opportunity. And when their opportunity is called, we expect them to be ready to go, and they were. All the way across the board, from running backs to our backup quarterbacks to our backup offensive line to our backup defensive guys. They did a great job going in there, and you're playing against their ones, and they held their own and did well. And I thought they did a phenomenal job. So the more experience they get in game time situations, the more confidence they're going to have, the better off our team's going to be. As a team or a coaching staff or whatever you want to look at, you're only as good as the weakest link on your team. So I challenge our coaches to be top-notch coaches. I challenge our players to be top-notch players and use simply the abilities that God's gifted you with, and don't waste them. Go use them to your potential. And as long as you're doing that and you're maximizing your potential, that's all that can be asked of you. And I think our kids are buying into that, and I think they're doing a great job.
Looking ahead a little bit to Friday night, Estacado's coming to town, coming off an overtime win over Andrews. You were at that game, so kind of share what you saw with everybody.
Well, I honestly thought Andrews came in thinking that they were going to win, and Estacado jumped on them from the get-go. I think the first or second play from scrimmage, they took the house for a touchdown. They got a running back. It's a sophomore. He's 6'3", 6'5", something like that, about 215, 220. He's a big kid, and once he gets going, he's hard to stop. I thought Estacado did a great job controlling the game, the score throughout the game. They were ahead almost the whole game to a point where I thought, well, maybe we'll get on the road earlier. Because I didn't think there was going to be a change in outcome. But then slowly through the middle of the third quarter, you see Andrews getting the momentum and making some plays, and see you see Estacado sort of fading a little bit, and then there was a little controversy and got a couple of penalties. Got a penalty from the sideline that put them in a bind. Next thing you know, the ball game's tied. Estacado had an opportunity to go down and kick a field goal on the last drive, but got behind the chains and some penalties and wound up going to overtime. And on 4th and 10 from about the 30, they threw a fade to their big number 1, and he made a great catch, and we're victorious and beat Andrews. And I think from the get-go, Andrews was fighting to get back in the game, and I think that was a big deal. I think they did some things that they normally wouldn't do because of the score. So all that said, for us to go out Friday night and get on them early, get after them from the get-go in all 3 phases and dominate, I think if you can do that and get ahead of them, they'll sort of you'll take away their will to win a little bit. They'll start fighting amongst themselves. Saw times where the coaches were arguing with players, and if we can put them in that situation where they're facing that adversity and maybe not handling that in the best situation, that'll be better for us. But if you let them get up and stay up, they're extremely athletic. I would compare them to Waco Conley. They look a lot like them, same color. Got great athletes. Quarterback does a great job. They have some big offensive linemen. They got some big defensive linemen. They got some linebackers that play well and play fast. Definitely important to go north and south against them, not east and west, because they're a fast defense. And I think they play a lot of man coverage and they cover well. So, and people don't really challenge them vertical because their kids are good cover guys, but we feel a little different. We feel like we have guys that can go down the field and make plays, so we're going to definitely test their back end on that. So I think we have a great game plan for them. I think our kids are confident. I think they understand that they're in total control of their environment and their situation and the outcome of the game as long as they prepare themselves this week and get better at what we do.
Okay. Well, we'll talk a little more about Estacado on Wednesday. Let's kind of talk about what else happened last week.
Yeah, let's go back to Wednesday night where our 9th grade and JV teams were successful against San Jose Lakeview. The 9th grade won 49-13 and JV won 48-12. Combined team went over to Belton and were victorious 32-14. So congratulations to them. And of course, the varsity team won 60-13. And then volleyball hosted Graham and weren't successful in that match. I know Graham has a good volleyball team, and like I said before, our girls are struggling a little bit just because they're young and they lack the experience at that level, but they continue to play hard. They continue to try to grow, and they don't surrender. And that's an athletic director. That's what you're looking for. You're going to have times in seasons and times in years that you aren't as talented or as prepared as you want to be, or maybe not prepared, experienced may be the word I'm looking for. And like I said before, they're going through what we've gone through in football for the last couple of years, where we just had younger guys having to play major roles, and the age matters, and they're just not as capable as a guy that's 2 years older than there that has more experience playing the game and is just more mature. So they're going through those growing pains, but I like the fact that they're not surrendering and they're still fighting to get wins, and they're still excited about what they're doing. So I tip my hat to them, because sometimes it's easy to fold up shop and fold up tent and just get through the season, but that's not their goal nor their desire. They want to be victorious, and they're doing everything they can to try to find a playoff spot.
Okay. What sub-varsity got lined up this week?
So speaking of volleyball, we will host Stephenville at 5 and 5 and 6 on Thursday at Warren Gym. Our JV and freshmen will travel to Lubbock, play at 5 and 6:30. That will be at Estacada High School. Our combined team lost their game against Dublin. Dublin doesn't have enough kids to play, so we were able to pick up Abilene Wiley. That will be at 4 o'clock in Abilene Wiley. So our combined team will have a game. It will not be at Brownwood, though, against Dublin. It will be in Wiley against Abilene Wiley's combined team. And then volleyball pickup again versus Mineral Wells on Friday. And, of course, we'll kick off at 7 o'clock at Gordonwood Stadium against the Lubbock Estacada Matadors.
Yes, and last home game of the season.
Yep, be senior night, and all that stuff will be going on.
Tickets available?
Yep, you can get tickets Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 12, 1 to 4, and Friday, 8 to 12, in the athletic office with Lisa, so make sure you do that.
All right, so Friday night, get at least a share of a district championship.
Yeah, possibly. You know, you're looking at, all scenarios. If we were to beat Estacada and then we were to lose against Andrews and lose to a situation where you lost points, those points could come in, because it would be if we all finished at, say, 3 and 1, then you got a three-way tie. It goes to points, and those plus and minus points are big. So a scenario would be Estacada's up 6 right now. They're at plus 6. Andrews is at minus 6. Depending upon, say, we get 15 points against beat Estacada by 15. Say that'd put us at a plus 15. That would put them at a minus 9, and that would put Andrews at a minus 6. We play Andrews. They beat us by 15. That's going to put us at a 0. It's going to put them at a plus 9, and Estacada will be at a minus 9, so we'd actually get second in that situation. So points are important if you're in that scenario, but we don't plan on being in that scenario. We plan on running the table in district, and it starts with Estacada, who beat Andrews. If we can dominate there and just keep growing and getting better as a football team, we'll play Andrews or whoever's next. And like I said before, we don't really care who we play. It's how we play, because we know we dictate the outcome of the game if we just do what we're supposed to do and use the gifts the Lord's blessed us with.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than doing math.
It sure is. The easiest way is just go win out.
All right. Anything else you want to mention today, Coach?
I went on NASCAR. You know, for the first time, I think I really cheered for Joey Logano. He sort of won me over. I didn't like him. I was very adamant about the fact I didn't like him, but more that I learned about the man and his off the track activities and his foundations and the kind of person he is and his spiritual background. It's sort of gotten where I like the guy. So he did win, advanced to the next round of the playoffs. It was a good race. So Stars guy got in a little altercation and didn't turn out too good for him. But Kyle Busch, who I still cheer for, wound up losing the tire, fell off the car, and then was spun out one time and wound up finishing third. So I thought that was a good day for an old NASCAR fan.
What'd you think, Star?
Can't, no comment.
You can't, no comment over the loudspeaker.
All right. Anything else today, Coach?
Yeah, let's thank those that make this show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Burner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Henrik Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Feeds, Heartland Funeral Homes, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter & Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agency, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Whistle Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right, we will be back Wednesday to talk more about Estacado here on KOXE, KOXE.com, the KOXE app, and the KOXE Facebook pages.
Have a great day, Brownwood.